Hello. My name is Alex. It's been around 8 months since Season 4 of Stranger Things dropped and we were introduced to Vecna. In those 8 months, I'd occasionally come across some fans on YouTube and on other social media who believe that back in Season 1 Episode 1, it was actually Vecna who frightened Will Bias off of his bike, chased him home and took him into the Upside Down. I've had a look at the evidence these fans have put forward as proof of this and I've come up with rebuttals for all of them. I've also found evidence to support the fact that it was obviously the Demogorgon and not Vecna. The first evidence that I'll be talking about, that these fans put forward as proof, is this shot of the Demogorgon 6 minutes into the episode. They say that one of the figure's arms are longer than the other, or that its left hand is bigger and claw-like unlike its right hand. Now I've paused the Demogorgon jump scare scene just as it's looking right at Will. I'm looking at its arms and they are literally the same length. They also look a lot skinnier than Vecna's arms. It's extremely hard to tell the size of its right hand with the dim lighting and the road in the background, meaning it's not possible to tell whether the right hand is claw-like or human-sized. I noticed something in this image that these fans either didn't notice or ignored for no reason. Look at the figure's shoulders. There's 2 bumps, one on each shoulder. Here is a shot of the Demogorgon in Episode 8 before it was launched back by 11. As you can see, it has those 2 bumps, one on each of its shoulders. If you think that the bumps were maybe caused by being set on fire, here is a shot of the Demogorgon before it was set on fire, and as you can see, it has those same 2 bumps on its shoulders. You can also search online for an image of the Demogorgon's lifespan, as shown here, and you are able to see the 2 bumps on the Demogorgon. Here is a shot of Vecna in Season 4 Episode 2. As you can see, he doesn't have a bump on each shoulder. He does have a whole lot of vines moving throughout his arms, shoulders, neck and head, but they obviously wouldn't make 2 bumps on his shoulders. In the dark, Vecna's shoulders would look smooth or at least have a whole lot of small bumps, not just 2. The next evidence that I see these fans put forward a lot is of this scene where the figure uses telekinesis to move the lock off the door. They say that the Demogorgon doesn't have telekinesis and Vecna does, so it must have been Vecna who unlocked it. Now these fans must be either deaf or stupid, as right before the lock is moved, we hear this. That was the Demogorgon's iconic growl that we hear every time we see or hear it, apart from the Demogorgon jump scare scene. About the telekinesis problem, I feel that we will find out in Season 5 what was happening there. But we do know that the Season 1 Demogorgon was somehow able to make small gates to travel between the upside down and the right side up and vice versa. Why didn't the Demodogs in Season 2 or the Demogorgon in Season 4 have that ability, you ask? Again, I think we will find out in Season 5. Now, if you were to say it wasn't the Demogorgon opening the gates, it was Vecna, you would be wrong. We know that Vecna didn't have the ability to open gates before Season 4, as he says to 11 in Season 4 Episode 9, all I needed was someone to open the door. And you did that for me. And then a little bit later he says, so I sought a means to open my own doors. I sought your power. We do know from Season 2 Episode 6 that Vecna was able to expand the gates using his telekinesis when he expanded the mother gate downwards below the Hawkins lab, but 11 was the one who originally opened it a year prior. Some of these fans say that the only time the Demogorgon attacks someone is when that someone bleeds. Will wasn't bleeding, so why would the Demogorgon go after him? Man, these fans are idiots. What's this? It's 2 signs on a fence that Will is riding past. On one of the signs it reads, Hawkins National Laboratory, U.S. Department of Energy. Now, who had just escaped from the Hawkins National Laboratory? That's right, 11 and the Demogorgon. Will comes across the Demogorgon when biking home because to get home, he rides past the Hawkins Laboratory. You can even see in the Demogorgon jumpscare scene that it was walking away from the lab but hears Will and turns towards him. Meaning it just happened to come across Will when escaping the lab. Finally, here is my last piece of evidence that supports the fact that it was the Demogorgon and not Vecna who frightened Will and took him into the Upside Down. Right before Will was taken, he was looking at the figure for 5 to 6 seconds before the camera looked at the brightening light bulb, meaning Will knows what the figure looks like. Will also would have seen the figure many times when hiding and running away from it in the Upside Down. In Season 1 Episode 8, when Will is in the hospital talking with Mike, Lucas and Dustin, he mentions that the Demogorgon got him. This means Will also named the figure as the Demogorgon when he was in the Upside Down. In the following days, the kids most definitely would have talked about the Demogorgon. If Will had actually seen Vecna but called him the Demogorgon, Will's description of the Demogorgon would be different to what Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Steve, Nancy and Jonathan would describe it as. Will would have said that it had a face and one large claw-like left hand. Mike, Dustin, Lucas and the rest would disagree with him, saying it didn't have a face, only a mouth that opened up like a flower with many teeth, and that both its hands were large and claw-like. Because this never came up in the next seasons, this for sure means that Will was scared and taken by the Season 1 Demogorgon and not Vecna. In conclusion, the evidence that these fans put forward are stupid and are obviously proven wrong just by listening, watching all the scenes with the Demogorgon in it, actually using your head and not being an idiot who takes things too far. Thank you, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.